Hello lovelies, today is day 5 of our fun adventure this week on the Royal Caribbean Grandeur of the Seas ship. Today is Wednesday, August 13th, and we are arriving today in Bimini in the Bahamas. And we are really excited for a fun excursion and a fun day today, and I want to share a little bit about our fun adventures from yesterday, both aboard the ship and over at Royal Caribbean's private island, the perfect day at Coco Cay. So we're just gonna have a chatty get ready with me, continue on with this series, share a little bit about our trip, some of our pictures and videos, and I'm just really excited to share all of this with you. So without further ado, come along with me and let's make up the rules. So we started out yesterday and we went out on the ship. We went up to the schooner bar and they were having a little I Spy challenge. And so we went in there, and what the activity was is they had pieces of paper and pencil for everybody, and it was mostly geared towards kids, but Dylan and I still had a fun time participating in the activity. And we picked up a piece of paper that had a really busy picture, just a black and white drawing on it of, it was a couple little mice eating some cookies with just some flowers and things in the background. On the bottom it had individual little items from the picture that were singled out, things like flags, a heart, little teepees, a house. It had a shoe. It had a lot of, I think it was a shoe and a sock. It had a lot of different little items that were pulled out, and so you would look through the picture and find where those items were hidden and circle them on your paper. And so it was pretty challenging. It was a really busy picture, and then also because it was just a black and white, just kind of pencil drawing kind of picture, it definitely made it very challenging to spot all of the items. So we spent a little while in there working on that, and we were able to get all of the items, so we were excited to be able to find those, and we had a really fun time doing that cute little activity over there in the schooner bar. And then once we finished in there, we finished getting ready to go out to the beach for the day, or out to the island at least for the day. And so we went ahead and headed out. It was very easy to just hop off of the ship. We just scanned our Sea Pass cards or our room keys as we were getting off of the ship, just so that way they would know who all was on the ship, who all was off, and be able to keep track of everybody that way throughout the day. But it was very easy. We just hopped off the ship, and then we were able to just walk down the kind of plank to get to the island. And so it's really pretty walking over there, and we were excited to see all the way down that walkway going over to the island, where you can see the really cute perfect day at Coco Cay signs that they have out there. They had some of the professional photographers from the ship, so we were able to go ahead and get our picture taken along that walkway as we were heading onto the island. So we got several different pictures out there as we were walking in, and so those were really cute, and we had a good time doing that. We did realize when we were out there that there was another ship, another Royal Caribbean ship, also docked out there for their guests to enjoy the day at Coco Cay, and that was the, I believe, Freedom of the Seas. So they were out there and we were out there, and it was the only two ships, so it was a little busier, but not too bad on the island. We were able to have plenty of room to move around. There were plenty of activities and things to do on their island, so it was just a really good time, and we were able to kind of move around and have a good time with that. And one thing about it that was a little bit confusing is that they had different photographers on the island for each ship, and so we were trying to figure out how to know when you walked up to a photographer which one was for your ship and which one was for the Freedom of the Seas. And so we never really did determine. We kind of thought that for each ship they had a different hat that they were wearing. We thought for the Grandeur they were wearing white hats, and for the Freedom of the Seas they were wearing blue hats. But at one point we did walk up to a photographer thinking that they were for our ship because they were wearing a white hat, and when we finally we waited in a line and we got up there, they said they were taking pictures for the other ones. So we weren't really sure exactly how to determine which ship the photographers were for, but we were still able to find several photographers for the Grandeur. So we got quite a few pictures on the island while we were out there, so we had a really good time doing that, and I got some really cute pictures just from our day at Coco Cay. So that's awesome that they have photographers out there, and they were doing a great job. We even saw some of the photographers getting into the pool with people so they could take pictures of them while we were swimming. And then out at the beach, standing on the shore, taking photos. So we got to see a lot of different photographers doing a lot of really cool picture opportunities. So that was a lot of fun just to get to see that. And so once we got onto the island, we of course walked around and took some pictures and some video. Right when we got on the island, they had some live music and some dancers out there just playing some of the traditional Bahamian type music, and so they were really beautiful. They had great costumes and everything, and the music that were playing was just really fun, very islandy, and really a great way to just introduce you to your day out at their private island and just to help welcome you onto the island. We really enjoyed getting to just be welcomed in, got to see that, and then we just started kind of exploring around. And so the first place that we ended up going over to was Chill Island. We went over, they had a really cute little sign that you could walk under as you were entering into that area, and just kind of walked around, looked at some of the amenities that they have there, and just got to kind of see what was on the island. And then we ended up going over to the Oasis Lagoon, which is their freshwater pool that they have on the island. Everything else is saltwater beaches, but that's the one place you can go and get into some fresh water. So we went ahead and decided to take a dip in the pool because it was really hot yesterday. We were pretty warm by the time we got over there. So we found a couple of chairs nearby that were over in the shade. We were able to drop off our things, and then we went ahead and went and hopped into the pool. And so it was really nice. It is a huge pool, so a lot of people are able to get into it. You don't feel really crowded when you're in the pool. Of course, there's other places on the island, so not everyone from both ships is all in the pool at the same time. But we were able to just find some nice places in the shade. They had plenty of trees and everything around the pool, so we were able to find some shade, and they have little kind of benches around the edges of the pool, so we kind of just found some places and we were able to just sit on the side and just soak in the water and just hang out and chit chat and just enjoy our time together while we were in the pool. And we were able to get several pictures while we were swimming and just able to enjoy that time. For those people, or for the people on the ship who have purchased the drink packages, they actually have some swim up bars in the pool and different little tables and chairs and everything in the pool. So it was really nice. It was a beautiful place and very relaxing. Definitely a little paradise that we were able to hang out in. So we really enjoyed getting to hang out in there, and we were in there for a while, probably 40 minutes or an hour, and just swimming and floating around and just enjoying our time together. And then after that, we decided to just kind of move along and go see what else we could find. We wanted to definitely stop by the pool, and then also we wanted to check out at least one of the beaches while we were on the island. And so we went over and we're trying to find a beach and ended up finding one pretty close near the pool. And so we decided just to grab a couple of chairs and stop there. And so we went out and we got in the water for a little bit. We were able to just kind of wade with our feet in the water and take some pictures out there. Just a couple of pictures and video I think we did, and able just to enjoy that time in the beach. And we definitely like the pool a little bit better. We like that fresh water better. I'm not a big fan of walking in the sand. It gets all stuck to your feet and your shoes and everything, but we enjoy just wading in the water, getting our feet wet, and enjoying the cool breeze that was out there. And then also on that beach, they had really large billiards that instead of using the typical pool balls, they had kind of like soccer balls. So it was really large. It was kind of something you could just walk into, and they had a really big triangle that you could put all of the balls into. And then they had one white soccer ball that was the cue ball. And so we were able to get one of those that had an umbrella over it. It was in the shade, and we were able to play a game of pool. So that was a lot of fun. It was tricky. It definitely did not work the way traditional pool does. Every time we would kick the balls, it would kind of go different directions than we were intending. It was not very easy because we would kick the cue ball into the other balls, and by the time that it hit the other ball, it just was not going the way that we were trying to get it to go. So it was a little hard, and by the end we kind of ditched the cue ball and decided to just take turns kicking the other balls, and that was a lot easier, and just trying to kind of see who could win. And Dylan won that game. It was close. I had one left, but he was able to get the 8 ball in last. So we had a fun time doing that. And then after that, I think it was about noon or so by then, and so we were getting pretty hungry, and we were excited to get to try some lunch there on the island. They had several different restaurants that provide complimentary food with your cruise, and so instead of going back to the ship to eat, we decided to eat on the island. And so right there on the beach where we were, right next to the billiards, they had a snack shack, and so we really wanted to try the chicken sandwich from the snack shack, and so we popped over there, and we really liked that over by all of the restaurants and all of the eating areas, they actually have some sink stations where you can wash your hands. And you know, when you're out at the beach and you're touching the sand or you're touching the water and everything, when you're going to eat, you definitely want to be able to wash your hands. So I really appreciated that they had those, and they had soap and paper towels and everything, so it was really nice to just be able to go and wash our hands. And then we just walked up to the snack shack. They just have little windows with attendants there, and you can just walk up and order what you want, and they have everything pretty much pre-made. So it just took just a minute, and the attendant that we ordered with was able to just walk back to the back, grab our food, and bring it up to us. So we ordered just a chicken sandwich and an order of fries to share, just so we could both try it. And they had a big condiments bar where you could go and you could, you know, get your mayonnaise, your ketchup, lettuce, tomato, all of that for your sandwiches. And so we went over there and got that, and I also got some fruit, and then they had some picnic tables nearby that we could go and we could just have a seat and enjoy our lunch. They have a lot of signage saying to be careful with the birds. It says, you know, watch your food because the birds are watching too, which was definitely true. There were a lot of birds, and they were very interested in all the food that everybody had out there. So I'm sure I didn't see anybody's food get grabbed, but I'm sure that has happened before. So we were definitely being as cautious as we could be, and just trying to make sure that everything was covered, and we were constantly watching over things. But we just grabbed our spot at a nearby picnic table to sit and enjoy our lunch. or enjoy our snack anyway. And the chicken sandwich was delicious. It was cooked really well. And I actually had watched some videos before we came on the trip on YouTube, and I heard some people talk about the chicken sandwich and say that it was really good, and that was why I wanted to try it. And I heard them compare it to Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches, which I would agree with that. They definitely tasted similar to that. So they were really good. They were very warm, very crispy. So we enjoyed that snack. We enjoyed just kind of hanging out there by the beach. There was a nice breeze while we ate, and it was really nice too with that meal that we had to also have some fruit. I got some pineapple and some watermelon, and it was really cool just to enjoy some fresh fruit there in paradise. And then as we were finishing up eating our snack out there on the beach, one of the coolest things from the entire experience at Coco Cay happened. We were sitting there and I was talking to Dylan, and then all of a sudden I saw something kind of moving behind him, and I glanced over and I saw it was a large iguana out there on the beach, and he was so cool. He was just walking around, just checking things out. I think he was a little nervous with all the people that were out there, but he was very brave. He was just coming out and just exploring and seeing what everybody was up to. So, everybody in the area was very interested, and we all just thought that was so cool. So Dylan and I were able to get some pictures and videos with him. He was so cool. He was such an awesome thing to see while we were out there on the island, just down in the Bahamas. It was just such a unique and fun experience. So that was really cool to get to see that, and just to be able to take some pictures and everything with him. And so we hung out there for a little while, checked him out, and then we decided to go ahead and move on. And so the next place we went after we kind of had our snack at the snack shack, we wanted to have a little bit more for lunch, and so we went over to one of the buffets that they had, and I think they had two, maybe three on the island total. And so we went over to one of those, and we just went through and got some lunch. They had a taco bar over there. They had some sandwiches, some just kind of American fare type food as well. So a lot of just kind of warm, good, hearty food. And so one of the things that I really wanted to get was, I saw that they have fresh homemade tortillas, which, I've eaten at some restaurants that have fresh made tortillas before, and they are so good. They just don't even compare, aren't even in the same league to packaged tortillas at all. And so we went over there and I got a couple of those tortillas. They of course had toppings for the tortillas to make tacos. I really just wanted the tortillas, but I got a couple of the toppings as well just to try them out on the side. They had some rice and beans and things like that. And then I grabbed a couple of sandwiches. They had kind of a Philly cheesesteak type sandwich that I heard was really good. And then I also got a portobello mushroom sandwich. And so we got a couple of things and tried that. I also, for my drink, got a tropical mango, just kind of fruity flavored water drink, and so wanted to try that as well. So we found a table that was over kind of in the shade. It wasn't a great shade. It was pretty hot where we were sitting, but we were just going to eat real quick and then head back to the ship after that. And so we went ahead and tried our meal, and the tortillas were delicious. They were so warm and fresh. You could definitely just taste the flour in it. It was just such a good tortilla. So I was really happy with that. I was definitely savoring those. And then the tropical mango drink was really good. It was just really nice to have out there on the island, just to enjoy, just to have something really light and refreshing and fruity to drink. And then also the taco filling, they were okay. It was good. It just wasn't the best ever. The cheesesteak sandwich was unfortunately not as good. The meat was not cooked all that great. It was real tough and chewy, so I was kind of disappointed with that. I was hoping it would be good, but the portobello mushroom sandwich was so good. It was fried. The mushroom was fried. It had a nice crispiness. It had some marinara on it, so it was really, really good. I really enjoyed that one. So we definitely enjoyed our meal that we had out there at Coco Cay. It was nice just to enjoy some lunch after a fun day out at the beach and the pool. And so after that, we were getting pretty warm. We'd kind of done everything we wanted to do, so we decided to go ahead and head back to the ship. So we came, we grabbed a couple of pictures along the way, and also they had a big pirate ship that was for the kids to play on, and they had some little water just kind of shooting on the ground. So we went over, rinsed all the sand off our feet over there, and then grabbed a couple more pictures with the ship behind us, and then came and got back on board. Came and just took some showers, freshened up, got ready for yesterday evening, and then decided to just go back out, find some places to relax, hang out, and enjoy. And so we did end up going over to the schooner bar again, and they were going to have a napkin folding class, and so we just went and hung out and stayed over there until that started, and we went ahead and did that activity, and it was a lot of fun. The instructor was really good and was able to provide good instruction for our group, and so we got to do 3 different designs, and so we really enjoyed getting to learn how to fold those, and we had a good time doing that. And then she also had a paper that had all of the instructions on it, as well as instructions for some other design that we didn't have a chance to do yesterday. And so we were able to take a picture of that. So we've got that to be able to do at home if we ever decided we wanted to fold napkins at home. So we had a really fun time doing that. And then after that, there was a little bit of time that we were just kind of hanging out and enjoying just being on the ship and just enjoying the beautiful views out at Coco Cay and being able to see the island from the windows. And so we hung out for a little bit, and then at 4 o'clock, they were going to have kind of an escape room type activity. It was a mystery with some puzzles that you had to solve, trying to find the culprit for a mystery. And so we went over and we were really excited to get to do that. And so when we arrived, we got there a little bit early and we waited until it started, and then they had some packets, just a big envelope that had all of the things that you needed in it. And so every group got a packet, which they did tell everybody it would be best to be in groups of maybe 3 or 4 people, but Dylan and I were planning to leave a little bit early for our dinner because it started at 5 and the activity started at 4, and so we were not thinking we might be able to stay for the whole thing, and so we just did it, the 2 of us, which was a little more challenging. Definitely it would have been better with more people to be able to look at things together and solve the puzzles, but we did pretty well, just the 2 of us. And so we went through and we were able to just look through the different clues that they had, and we solved several of the little puzzles. We didn't get through all of them. We had, I think, 3 left that we didn't get through, but we got through, I think, 3 or 4 of them. So in about a 45-minute time slot. So we were proud of ourselves. We did pretty well with it, and it was really cool that we were able to do that activity. And also they did wrap it up right before we were about to leave, so we got to she had a PowerPoint slide that we were able to see all the results from it, and we were able to see what the or who the culprit was and what the result was from the activity. So that was cool to at least just kind of see the puzzles that we didn't solve what the results from those were, and then just kind of what the answer was at the end. So we had a really good time doing that. It was a very fun, very engaging activity. Definitely makes you kind of use your brain and think about some things. So we really had a great time with that. And then after that, it was time for dinner. So we popped over to the main dining room and grabbed our table over there. It was a tropical night yesterday, and so we got to wear our tropical clothing. And then also in the main dining room, the dinner theme was Caribbean food. And so we were excited to get to try some of that, and that was something that neither one of us had really tried. And so we were looking forward to getting to eat on that. And so we ordered a few different meals and tried a few different things. We tried a Jamaican pork chop, we tried some jerk chicken, some pesto pasta, and then Dylan got some tiger shrimp for our meals. And then we tried a few different appetizers and a few different desserts as well. So all the food was pretty good. It was definitely our least favorite from the trip so far in terms of the meals. The seasonings and everything were not our personal favorites, but all the food still was really good. All of the main dining room dinners have been delicious. We've enjoyed everything we've had. It just probably wasn't our favorite out of everything that we've had so far. So we enjoyed that, but I will say that when we had our desserts, they had a blueberry cobbler that was really good. It kind of had almost like an oatmeal type flavor on the top with the breading that it had on the top, the crust. But the blueberries were really sweet. They weren't real tarts. Came with some ice cream, and that really helped to sweeten it up and made it really delicious. And then the other desserts that we got included a chocolate brownie, which it was good. We had some ice cream to go with it, and that definitely helped, but it was definitely very rich. I think dark chocolate. It was good. It was just a brownie. So that one was definitely our least favorite of the ones that we got. But the dessert that I got was our absolute favorite dessert, I think probably from the whole trip. It was so good we ended up ordering a second one to share, but it was the pineapple sunshine cake. It was incredible. The whipped cream on it was so light and airy, and then the pineapple kind of jelly that was on top was really good. It was real sweet and flavorful, and then the cake itself was really good. It just was very light and just had a really nice light flavor to it. And I think the cake even had some little chunks of pineapple in it too. So it was sweet, it was fresh, it was very light, very airy. So it was really good. It was definitely one of our favorite desserts that we've had. We were so pleased with it, and definitely really enjoyed that. So even though unfortunately the food that we had, the meal that we had was not our favorite, the dessert definitely made up for it last night. It was so good. And then after dinner, we had a little bit of time, so we went and took some photos with some of the professional photographers. And then we went over and went out on one of the outer decks, and we just found some pool chairs, and we're able to just kind of lounge out there and just watch the sea as we were sailing by. It was just so pretty. It was just very relaxing just to hang out there together and just really just enjoy being out at sea, being able to see the water. We couldn't quite see the sunset from where we were, but we could definitely see some of the pink and the orange in the sky. So it was really pretty out there, just being able to see the nature as we were sailing by it. And then after that, we went over to the Palladium Theater. They were not necessarily having a headliner show yesterday like they have on the other nights, but they were having a couple of game shows in the Palladium Theater, so that was kind of fun. The first one that they had was Friendly Feud. It was kind of like Family Feud, but just with different contestants that they picked from the audience from our ship. And so they had 4 people on each team that they pulled and had go up to the front, and they just participated. It was just like Family Feud, asking for the top 5 answers from different surveys and for different questions and trying to get those answers. And so the people that they ended up picking, they were definitely some characters. They were very crazy, very loud, very animated, and so they made the game fun. And then the host of the game, he was a little crazy too. He just had a lot of personality, and he definitely kept saying throughout the game that it was his game and his rules, and that was definitely true. It wasn't exactly like Family Feud like you would see on TV. So it was fun. It was a big silly game. We enjoyed getting to see that game. One of the funniest things that he did was instead of having buzzers when the contestants would go up and would want to answer their question, instead of having the buzzers that they could ring, he would have them come up and tell him what their favorite animal was, and then for their buzzer sound they had to make that animal sound. Roar! They had a lot of funny different animals that they chose. Of course, there were cats and dogs, but one guy said a lion and he roared, and some people were saying turtles and penguins, ones that may be harder to think of what sounds they make. So it was funny to kind of hear their interpretations of those, and so we really enjoyed that. That was kind of fun and kind of funny. And so they were definitely a fun group, and we enjoyed getting to see that show. And then once that ended, it was time for the next show to come on, or it was about maybe a 10-15 minute intermission in between, but they were having a love and marriage game show. And so Dylan and I, of course, are married and on our cruise together, so we were really excited to get to see that show. We thought that would be real cute, and so we hung around for that. And so for that show, they ended up kind of having what they called auditions for the show at the beginning, and so they ended up going around or looking around the room, and they were asking who had been married the longest, and the couple that they ended up choosing had been married for 60 years. They were married for a very long time and looked like they had a really good marriage, so it was really cool to see that. And then the next couple that they chose was the couple who'd been married for the shortest amount of time. And so they ended up going around the room and trying to figure out who that was. And it was actually a couple that was sitting just right beside me and Dylan. And they had been married for, I think they said, only 6 or 7 days. So they were definitely newlyweds. I think they were probably on their honeymoon on the cruise. So they were selected, and then they wanted a couple that was in between the two. So they were saying anywhere from, I think, 5 years up to maybe 59. Anywhere in that range. So they had a lot of couples go up, and they ended up having to select one couple out of that group, just kind of based on some criteria and based on audience applause. So they ended up picking one other couple, and they had been married, I think, about 8.5 years or so. So there was a good range from newlywed, middle years of marriage, and then the longest married couple. So they ended up going up on the stage, and then during the game, they took turns. So at first the husband stayed on the stage and the wives went into a soundproof booth in the back, and they answered 4 questions. And then when they brought the wives back out, the wives had to answer the same question and try to match their husband's answers. And then on the second round, the wives stayed on the stage and the husbands went in the back. And so they were able to answer those questions that the wives answered. So that was a lot of fun. It was funny to hear their different answers, to just kind of see how well they know each other, or if they just answered the same or different answers. And the couples that they got were really fun. They were funny. And the couple that had been married for 60 years, the husband he was a hoot. He was so funny. He was just very animated. He was really just having a lot of back and forth with the host and playing with her. So it was a lot of fun to watch. We were all cracking up and just really having a great time. So that was such a fun game to watch. We really enjoyed that. We were really glad that we had stayed for that. And then after the 2 game shows were over, we decided to just come back to our cabin and start getting ready for bed. So we just had a really fun-filled day. You could even say it was the perfect day at Coco Cay. And so we really enjoyed yesterday. And then today we are arriving in Bimini in the Bahamas. And Dylan and I have a really fun excursion planned for today. We are going to do a paint by the sea, and we are really excited about this one. We ended up, when we were booking our trip, we saw that this would be an option as an excursion, but once we actually booked our trip, it was no longer available. We didn't see it on any of the excursion lists, and so we were really disappointed. We were really sad. We love going to things like Painting with a Twist and doing lead paintings. We like painting at home, just on our own. So we were pretty bummed and pretty disappointed to see that that was not going to be an option. But as we were planning for our trip and as the time was getting a little closer and a little closer, I kept checking on the app and trying to see if maybe by any stroke of luck, by any chance, they may have added it. And a couple weeks before our cruise, they actually did. They added it on there. And so I was sitting there one day and I just decided to look and check and see if it was there. And I was so excited when I saw that it was. And so we went ahead and immediately booked it because that was something that we had already talked about and decided that we wanted to do. So we went ahead and booked that excursion and got that on our docket. So we are really excited for this one. It looks like we'll be just out at the beach. We'll be able to have our canvases and some paint, and we'll get to paint the beautiful scenery that's out there. So we are really, really excited for this one. Can't wait to get out there. So we're going to be doing that at 10 o'clock this morning. It's about 8:30, a little after 8:30. So we're going to be heading out there in just a few minutes and go ahead and go find where our group is. Make sure that we can get through security and everything to get off the boat and have plenty of time. So we are really, really excited for this one today. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot going on today around the ship, so I'm not sure how much we're really going to do once we've gotten back on the ship, but I think that's okay. We've been real busy all week. We've had a lot of plans, a lot of things we've been doing, so we are definitely looking forward to a day to just relax. We may even come back to our cabin and take a nap and just really enjoy today, just enjoy just being on the ship. And so just looking forward to today, just having a nice, easy, relaxing day, and definitely looking forward to our excursion. And then our dress for tonight, they have it listed as either 70s decade theme, or you can just do resort casual, and we didn't really want to dress up in the 70s clothing, so we've just got some cute just kind of tropical beachy kind of outfits that we're going to wear. So we're just looking forward to that. And then the headliner show for tonight is going to be, I think, a magician. I think he does several different things. His name is Chad Chesmark, so we're looking forward to getting to go and see that show. And we think that's just going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a cool show, so looking forward to that. So we're just going to finish up getting ready, and we're we're gonna get heading out for our excursion here in just a minute. So I'm gonna step off, I'm gonna throw on some jewelry, finish getting ready, and then I'll be back just to close out the video before we head out for the day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me as we've been getting ready for our day in Bimini today, and I would love to hear from you. Have you ever been to Bimini in the Bahamas? And if you have, did you go on an excursion? Did you hang out at the beach? What was your experience like here? If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you would like to see more makeup tutorials and more about our adventures on Royal Caribbean's Grandeur of the Seas, then please hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell so you'll be notified when additional videos have been uploaded. Until next time, let's be kind to each other, beautiful to ourselves, and never afraid to make up the rules.